Right, everyone. Shall we start? Right. So we were talking about the insurance. So today is a day 3 when you come to your insurance lessons. අපි මොනවද කතා කර හිටියේ? Principles of insurance. නැත්නම් අපි රක්ෂණ මූලධර්ම. අපි principle එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. The basics things that we have to follow. Right. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ grade 13 වගේ ගියාම ඉගෙන ගන්නවා principles of management කියලා. Right. කොහොමද management කියන දෙකේ තියෙන දේලා basics දේලා. So likewise the principles of insurance that we were talking about. That I may insurance principles හැදලා තියෙන්නේ to protect this industry, to provide the customer the best service, right? When there's no insurance principles, there would be a lot of difficulties. Both the parties, like how both the parties කියවට පස්සේ මතක් වෙන්නේ. First party and second party. Insurer, insured. මේ දෙන්නටම difficulties වලට face කරන්න වෙනවා. මුණ දෙන්න වෙනවා. To avoid those circumstances, to avoid those future circumstances could arise from those incidents. So when there are set of principles that everyone follows, then there would be no issue, right? Correct. Right. So to give you an update, අපි මෙතනින් කතා කරා insurable interest එක ගැන. Now what do you mean by insurable interest? Right, you need to think about that. It's not about the ownership that we discussed. The insurance insurable interest එක කියන්නේ ownership එක නෙමෙයි. දැන් අපි කියවනේ අර for this instance නේද? They are like phoning centers. අපි කියන්නේ උපස් මධ්‍යස්ථාන කියලා. එහෙම නැත්නම් banks වලත් මේ facility එක දෙනවා නේද? හරි. එහෙනම් මේ customer ගිහලා එයාගේ තියෙන මොන හරි වටින දෙයක් අපි තුමු gold නේද? මොන හරි jewels කියලා මේක ගිහලා deposit කරලා loan එකක් ගන්න. අපි කියන gold loan එක. නේද? රන්නය සේවාව කියලා. Right? පහලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ jewelries වෙන්න පුළුවන් මේ asset එකේ ඇත්තම වටිනාකම the ownership not belong to this one. Let's say BOC නේද? BOC කියලා මේක deposit කරලා loan එකක් ගන්න. But still the Bank of Ceylon have the insurable interest. Why? So having that particular asset brings you economical benefits, but not having that give you economical disadvantages. Right? So we discussed that part. So remember that ownership is not the case. Right? Debtors. Right? So you have a right to insure your debtors up to the debtor value only. Right? Not that they are life value. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ life එක insure කරන්න බෑ. Insure කරන්න පුළුවන් up to which limit? So limited to the amount that you gave, right? The debtor amount. So likewise. Husband and wife, can you remember that we discussed? The relationship between husband and wife, yes, there's a insurable interest. But with parents and children, there's no insurable interest as well as among the siblings. The brothers, sisters, maybe insurable interest. So that part covered. Utmost good faith. Utmost good faith, right? So you are revealing all the information that you know. You are not hiding anything. කිසිම තොරතුරක් නේද සංගවන්නේ නැතුව ඔක්කොම ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා, right? So we discuss especially when you come to the life insurance, this matters a lot. නේද මේකේ ගොඩාක් දේවල් අහන මම policy document එකකුත් පෙන්නනවා නේද? So there are a lot of questions that they are asking, right? So then it's your responsibility, it's your duty to provide or to reveal all the information. If in case the insurer got to know that you have provided false information or valid information, they have a right to cancel the policy. They have a right to not to give you the claim. So remember the fact that utmost good faith, so that we discussed. Right, so there are remaining some of the principles that will be covering today. So then we'll be discussing a concept called reinsurance and underwriting, right? And also the types of insurance. As you know, the insurance we can divide by mainly saying the life insurance and the general insurance, right? So that would be our today's plan, right, guys? Shall we take this first of all, right? මම හිතන්නේ මේක නම් ඔයා නේද previous week එකේ දාගෙන තියෙන නිසා ඔයාලට මේක update එක දාගන්න පුළුවන්. So we have discussed now මෙතන ඉඳලා so your day plan, right? To talk about the reinsurance and underwriting and also the types of insurance, right? So I'll give you like 2 to 3 minutes to take this, and then I'll start with the principle of indemnity. The principle of indemnity. Right. So while you're writing, you can mark the attendance as well, right? Just click on participated, right? Not participated කියලා ගැව ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ, because in order to click on that, you need to participate in the session, right? Okay. Take this, guys. Previous week එකේ participate වුණා නම් මේක තියනවා ළඟ මෙතන වෙනකම්ම plan එක, right? ඒක update එක දාගන්න. අපි discuss කරා first two principles that we discussed. So we start from the indemnity. Right, guys. So I hope you are done with that. Right now, listen well. So your next insurable principle is this indemnity, right? Now when it's about the indemnity, now you need to refresh your knowledge on what we discussed on the previous days. Insurance is just to cover up your loss. Insurance is not there to earn any profit out of that. Insurance එකෙන් ඔයාලට profit earn කරන්න බෑ. එහෙම වුණොත් හැමෝම insurance policies ගනි. Now, what is the core objective of the insurance concept? To transfer the risk. So you know that when you operate a business, it could be a business or life, right? So, but let's assume it's for a business. So when you conduct a business, yes, there are a lot of risk involved. That is why we divided in terms of the insurable risk and non-insurable risk. එහෙනම් මෙන්න මේ business risk එකේ but only the insurable business risk. So we just transfer the risk to an insurer, right? The purpose is only to cover up the losses. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි හිටපු තැනින් පල්ලෙහාට යනවා නේද? එතනින් ආපහු උඩට එන්න. example එකක් විදිහට ඔයාගේ warehouse එක fully අපිටම ගිනි ගන්නවා. එතකොට මේකේ damage එක 5 million. 5 million damage එක. හැබැයි total ඔයාගේ warehouse එකේ තියෙනවා අපි තමු 10 million worth of goods. Right? එහෙනම් ඔයාගේ damage උනේ only 5 million. ඔයාට claim එකක් ගෙවනවා 10 million up to 10 million වෙනකම්. So because of that incident you have a profit around 5 million. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා හිතන ෂා හොඳයි නේද නේද? හැම අවුරුද්දෙම මගේ warehouse එක ගිනි ගත්තොත් හොඳයි කියලා හිතනවා. Right? Again, because you can earn 5 million profit, right? So you have an insurable risk is there where your warehouse, the warehouse so that's a kind of insurable risk, right? In a warehouse worth of 10 million goods, right? 10 million goods. So where you have taken insurable principle, right? Insurance principle හැබැයි මේකේ වෙන loss එක only 5 million, right? 5 million loss. හැබැයි total value එක 10 million. එහෙනම් insurance company will only pay you 5 million claim. What will happen? In a 5 million pay කරොත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. So 5 million loss, 5 million claim. So there's no profit, right? So profit is 0. But what will happen if they paid you all 10 million? So you will be receiving 10 million and your loss is only 5 million. So there's a profit of 5 million. Wow, great. And the insurance කියන එක එතකොට ඔයා ඊළඟ අවුරුද්දේ මොනවා කරේ සමහරට ඔහම තව කවුරු හරි දාලා මේක පොඩි ගින්නක් ඇති කරයි නේද? එහෙම කරන අවස්ථාවක් තියෙනවා. But remember the fact insurance is not to earn profit. රක්ෂණය තියෙන්නේ ලාභ ලබන්න නෙමෙයි, to cover up that losses, the damages occurred. So this principle says that yes, so when you have insured a property, right, most of the time, so when there's a damage, there's a loss to that particular asset or property, the insurance company will only pay you the damages occurred even though you have insured. Now imagine the fact that now this particular warehouse you have insured up to 10 million and or that 10 million වෙනකන් insure policy එකක් ගත්තා කියලා ඔයාලට full claim එක ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙනම් so you need to always consider the loss, right? So loss is 5 million. So then the company will only pay you, right? The insurance company, let's say that Sri Lanka Insurance. So this is your insurer, right? Insurer tama Sri Lanka Insurance. XY company, right? So they are warehouse worth of 10 million, but the damage or the loss or the damage is only 5 million, right? So remember the fact that insurance is not to earn profit. Correct. Hi. Have I mean the principle? Now, indemnity is something a main principle. So out of that, so under the indemnity, there are like two sub principles. They can be sub principles. They can't be. So one is the contribution and the subrogation. Right. So I'll first explain the concept of contribution. Right. Hi. අපි ඒකට එන්න කලින් අපිට පුළුවන් වේද මේ පොඩි chart එක දාගන්න මම ඔයාලට explanation එකක් දෙන්නම්. Right. So write the topic indemnity. So in your short notebook, right? Or මෙන්න මේ idea එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right. So in this idea, yeah. So you have obtained an insurance policy up to 10 million, but the loss is only 5 million. So the Sri Lanka insurance will only pay you how much? Only 5 million, right? Only 5 million. So there's no profit, right? No need of this part. So only this part to get you the idea. Now, what damage cover, right? So there's no profit out of that. So then I'll come to the two concepts, the contribution and subrogation. Right, guys. So shall we come to the tute? Right. Guys, sorry that I'm having trouble with my camera. I don't know why what happened. So we'll do like this by sharing the screen. I know that it's will be difficult, but we'll do like that. So everyone, can you please come to your team, right? Or take down a log and at 30, but still we can write an explanation for this indemnity, right? So let me share that. Right. So the indemnity principle is that when there's a loss, right? So the company will providing you only the loss that occurred, right? එතනින් එහාට ඔයාට එක රුපියලක්වත් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. That would be a profit, right? Correct. So shall we write this one and along with the example, right? So when an insured property has been damaged, the payment of an adequate amount of the compensation just to restore the property, right? Or the venture loss එක cover කරගන්න විතරයි they will be providing that. So that's something we need to think. So the example is there. You can take the example as well, right? මම ඔයාලට ගත්ත example එක තමයි the warehouse fund, right? Even though the warehouse value is 10 million, you have obtained the insurance principal and I loss එක 5 million. නම් company එක provide කරන order loss එක විතරයි, right? එතනින් එහාට කීයක්වත් ලබා දෙන්නේ නැහැ වුණොත් ඒක profit එකක් වෙන නිසා. So they come and they do some investigation, they estimate the loss, right? So then they will be making the payment, right? Shall we write this Right. So the indemnity. Right. So when an insured property has been damaged, so only the compensation will be received just to cover up the loss that incurred, just to restore that. Right. I hope you are done with writing along with the example. Right now, let me discuss with you the sub principle related to the indemnity, which is the contribution and the subrogation.
Yes, guys, we have to continue like this, unfortunately. Right, okay. So the contribution means that I know that this is little odd to teach like this. Chai varila teach kala purudana. Hari, I'll manage like this. Okay. The contribution is that let's imagine the fact that where you have insured your property more than one insurer වෙන්න පුළුවන් නේද දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔයගේ තියෙන asset එකක් there's no limitation to that, there's no barrier නේද ඔයාට පුළුවන් ඔයගේ asset එකක් insurance company දෙක තුනක insure කරන්න, no issue with that. So there's no law saying that one asset need to be insured in one particular organization, right, which is the insurer. So you have the freedom, so your asset, you can insure, you can take multiple insurance policies, no issue with that, right? Now let's say that for your vehicle, for your asset, let's say there's a building, so you go and insure that particular building, let's say in Sri Lanka insurance, in AIA insurance, SoftLogic, Selling or whatever, let's say 3-4 places you go and insure. But remember the fact that, so when there's a damage, right? Let's say when there's a damage of 100,000. So you cannot go to the Sri Lanka insurance and obtain that 100,000. You cannot go to the AIA insurance and you get the 100,000. So why? With the Hammer insurance company came 100,000 gana labunot mona veida. So just damage is 100,000. හැබැයි ඔයා තව තැන් හතරකින් ඒක අරගෙන තියෙනවා. එතකොට damage is 100,000. You have obtained like 500,000, right? So there's nothing. The companies will not pay like that. So that is why there's no restriction that you can go and obtain insurance policies. But when there's a damage occurred, so they will be paying you the compensation proportionately, right? So I'll tell you in the screen. I'll share the screen whiteboard and show you this thing. Right. Now let's imagine this fact. So here's your building. Right, guys, so I'm trying my level best to explain this concept, right, using this one, right. So here's your building. Let's say that this worth 1 million, right? So 1 million insurance policy that you have taken from insurance company. Let's say 3 insurance companies, right? In Apito Medina, Sri Lanka Insurance, right? So one of the leading insurance provider in Sri Lanka, right, belongs to the government, right? Sri Lanka Insurance is there. And also AIA Insurance, you might have heard about the AIA Insurance, right? Let's say Selinco, right? Selinco is there. So 3 insurance companies. So you obtain this policy, let's say from Sri Lanka Insurance, 500,000, right? 500,000. And AIA, for like you get 300,000 policy, right? And finally the rest of the amount or the rest of the value you go and get from the Selinco. So somehow you have covered the value of this property, right? So property එක වටිනවා 1 million. හැබැයි ඔය එක තැනකින් ගන්නෙ නැහැ insurance policy එකක්. You are not just get the insurance policy worth of 1 million from Sri Lanka Insurance or AIE or the Selinco. So you try to get multiple policies. Along that policies තුනක් තියෙනවා, right? So there are like 3 policies, right? Now let's say that there's a damage occurred or loss occurred, right, to this particular building. අපි හිතමු මොනාරි මොනවද වෙන්නේ? මොනාරි fire එකක් වෙලාදී මොනාරි මේ building එකට damage එක දැන් estimate කරලා තියෙනවා 100,000, right? 100,000 damage is there, right? Now this covers in this particular insurance policy. Make it a payment එක කරන්න පුළුවන්, no doubt with that. But like I said, so you cannot go to the Sri Lanka Insurance and say, okay, I have insurance policy up to 500,000. There's a damage worth of 100,000. ඔයාට බෑ මෙතනින් ගිහිල්ලා මෙහෙම 100,000 මෙයාගෙනුත් ගරගන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ AIA එකටත් ගිහිල්ලා කියනවා. So look here, I have insurance policy up to 300,000. Now there's a damage or a loss to my insured property, right, worth of 100,000. So please give me the compensation of 100,000, right? Correct. Or Selinco එකටත් ඒ විදිහට යනවා. Imagine I have an insurance policy 200,000. There's a damage of 100,000. So please make the arrangements to settle my claim. එහෙම බැලුවොත් ඔයාලට දැන් ලැබෙනවා 300,000. But the actual damage is 100,000. එතකොට profit එකක් තියෙනවා 200,000. So මේක මෙහෙම වෙන්නේ නැත. එහෙනම් මොනවද කරන්නේ? So along with the total value, so they try to create a ratio, නැත්නම් the proportionate basis. මොනවද කරන්නේ? So total value is 1 million. එහෙනම් මේ 1 million එකකින් අපිට ratio එක හදා ගන්න පුළුවන්. So 1 million into 500,000, right? මෙතන 500,000 එක cover වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. එතන මෙතන ratio එකක් එනවා. So likewise මෙතනත් from 1 million, right? මෙතන rate එක 300,000, right? 300,000. So likewise this also 200,000, right? 200,000. and එහෙම බැලුවොත් ඔයාලට කීයද rate එක එන්නේ, right? ඔයාලට rate එකක් එනවා 532 කියලා නේ. Is that correct? 532 කියලා ඔයාලට rate එකක් එන්නේ. මෙහෙම 532, right? 532 rate එක. දැන් මේ rate එක apply කරොත්, so it's like 50%. මේ 100,000 damage එකේ 50% given on Sri Lanka insurance. So, right? So, which is the percentage and our percentage එක ගන්න පුළුවන් ratio එක ගන්න පුළුවන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෙමෙයි. The 532 කිව්වත් හරි 50%, 30%, 20% කිව්වත් හරි, right? If you just take the percentage like this, නේද? මේක අපි තවත් ගමු percentage එක, right? So like you multiply by 100%, in our method දෙනවනේ 50%, right? So those are like basic mathematics. I know you guys are doing more complicated calculations. This is 20%. And out of 532 ගන්නත් පුළුවන් 50%, 30%, 20% ගන්නත් පුළුවන්. හරි. දැන් එහෙනම් කීයද? So now how do you calculate? So from this 100,000 Sri Lanka insurance now, so 100,000, you will just apply the percentage, right? Which is the 50%. 50%. And for the AIA insurance, the damage is 100,000. So 100,000 into 30%. So they will be contributed. That is why the name of the sub-principle is the contribution. Right? Each insurance company contribute to the total damage, not just paying the full one, right? හරි මෙතනත් එහෙනම් they contribute. කවුද මෙතන ඉන්නේ? Selinco. So Selinco contribute like 20%, right? 20%. දැන් මට කියන්නේ claim එක කොහොමද දෙන්නේ කියලා. So Sri Lanka insurance will be paying 50,000, right? 50,000. And from AIA, you will be receiving 30,000. And from Selinco, you will be receiving 20,000. Then your claim is now okay, right? Then harini. In our total එක මේකතු කරාම එනවා 100,000. So this is how the sub principle of contribution works, right? For this total damage, මෙතන තියෙන ආට වෙච්ච loss එක, damage එක එහෙනම් so they'll be getting a percentage for the total amount, right guys? So this is the concept of contribution, right? So take a short notebook. Can we write this? Can you take this just an example? So remember the fact that total value making up to how much they have take the insurance policy. Total value 1 million, Sri Lanka insurance 500,000. එතන 50% rate එක හදා ගන්න පුළුවන්. So likewise you get the rate. So it doesn't matter, right? So from how many places that you have obtained the insurance policy, they will be calculating this percentage, and based on that percentage they'll be paying you the compensation. එහෙනම් දැන් ඔයා හිතාගෙන හිටියානම් ෂා මට වාසියක් වෙන්න යන්නේ මට මේ 100,000 ගානේ හැම කෙනෙක්ගෙම ගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. Now that's not going to happen, right guys? Okay, shall we take this example? So the example for the contribution policy, right? I hope guys you guys hear me properly, and also the screen, and if there's anything just drop me a message. And sorry for this inconvenience. I'm also not much used to teach like this, but I'll manage somehow. Right, correct. So take this guys. So then I'll be providing you a explanation to write as well. So again and again, those principles shows the fact that you cannot make any profit out of insurance or රක්ෂණයෙන් කිසිම ලාභයක් ගන්න බෑ කියන එක තමයි මෙතනින් කියන්නේ. හැබැයි කොමාරිවා estimates, but estimates also සමහරට නේද high estimates දීලා මොන හරි පොඩි දෙයක් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි but always these principle will avoid those circumstances. So this is the loss incurred. So here's the value of the insurance that you have taken from each company. Value of the insurance policy from each company. So likewise, selling codes like 200,000, AIA 300,000, and Sri Lanka Insurance 500,000, right? So here's the property value, right? Property value. Right, so I'll be giving like another 2 minutes to take this, and then I'll be giving you a definition or explanation to write. So what do you mean by the concept contribution? Right? Now you know the idea. හැබැයි මේක කොහොමද අපි හරියට ලියන්නේ කියන එකත් දැනගන්න අවශ්‍යයි, right? Correct. So ගොඩක් වෙලාවට exam එකේදී ඔයාලට මේ වගේ question එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ අහන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. From this insurance company, what is the claim that we will be receiving? නැත්නම් calculate the claim that each insurance company will be paying to that particular insured, right? ඒ වගේ question එකක් අහන්න පුළුවන්. So it's just a matter of taking this percentage, right? And so you can continue with. Right, guys, I hope you're done with this. තව විනාඩියක් දෙන්නම් කොයි එකද. So then we'll write a definition, explanation. Right. So guys, again, I'm telling you, I don't have any idea about your writing speed. If you are, middle of writing when I'm sharing back, so always, let me know, right? Drop a message. So I couldn't write this part. I missed that thing. So always be connected like that. So, so then I know, so surely I can again share that content again, right? Right. So please come back to your tute. So where you can see the fact of contribution. Contribution is there. Right now, in terms of calculation, exam එකේදී ලොකු calculation දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ වගේ simple calculation එකක් තමයි. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ වගේ question එකක් ආවොත් අපි past papers discuss කරනවාට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. මේ වගේ simply order percentage එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් you might think we will not be having calculators, but from this 21 onwards, the calculator is allowed, I think, for counting subject, but not business studies and not economics as well. But you don't have to worry. There are some calculation from your upcoming lessons as well, something like your finance management, right? So in grade 30, something like ratio analysis, those things are there, but you know, those are like simple calculations. You don't have to worry about at all. Right. So with that message, coming back to the tune, you can see the fact that so the contribution may example like I'll be sharing the example anyway automatically. I'm not pulling him because why we discuss that example with some figures as well, right? So here's the what you need to write on that particular space. So when a property has been insured in several insurance companies, yes, like we discussed, Sri Lanka Insurance, AIA, Selinco, so whatever the insurance company. And if a damage has occurred, payment of compensation by all insurance companies for it by contributing proportionately. I mean, a proportionate basis, that is known as contribution. Example, no need to write the example, I would say. I explain with you with that shared screen, right? So but you can take that as well, no issue with that. Correct. Shall we take this contribution? So one of the sub principle from the concept of indemnity, right? Indemnity ke thiyena ekak thamai menna me contribution එක, right? Right. So guys, I'm again telling you, if you also face any internet issues, any disconnections, so please let me know, right? So I can share you the recordings as always. So if I missed any previous sessions, if you miss anything during the session, right? So just drop me a message and get the recordings, complete your notes. So that part is up to you, and the LMS would be again up to date, right? So all the things would be uploaded, and so you can access, can get the access as well. Right, so I'll be giving another 1 minute for this, and then we'll discuss the next sub principle which is the subrogation. Subrogation. Right. The next one, subrogation. Now I'll start with this the story. Right. So you guys know about what happened on 2004, right? December. Yeah, 2004. 2004 ඉදිරිපුලක් නැතුව එතන මම I guess. Right. Okay, somehow. Tsunami incident නේද? ලංකාවට the tsunami disaster, right? So that the reason is that now let's say a lot of the hotels, the hotel properties damaged, right? Coastal area එක තිබුණා. So and also a lot of foreign aids අපි කිව්වොත් විදේශ ආධාරත් ලැබුණා නේද මේ tsunami. So somewhere around like World Bank, Asian Development Bank, United Nations මේ විදිහට ඒගොල්ලෝ donate කරා. හරි. Now for example අපි මේම දෙයක් හිතමු, right? For an example, right, we'll take another one. Hurry. Right. So let's say there's a hotel, right? මෙන්න මේ විදිහට අපි හිතමු hotel එකක් තිබුණා. හරි මොනවද ගන්න අපි හිතමු ABC Beach Resort, right? ABC Beach Resort is the hotel, right? Beach Resort. So let's imagine that for this property, right? For this hotel property, they obtain an insurance policy. Insurance policy එකක් අරගෙන තිබුණා. Natural disaster policy එකක්. Now under the general insurance will be learning. So one of insurance policies is the natural disaster. හැබැයි tsunami එක තවත් පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් වුණා. මොකද that was kind of a new to Sri Lanka. So some insurance companies rejected the payment. ඒගොල්ලෝ කිව්වා මේ natural disaster list එකේ tsunami කියන එක නැහැ. Right? ඒ නිසා මේක ගෙවන්න බෑ. But finally the court ordered to pay those compensation. That's a different story, right? But what I want to highlight here is this. Let's say this particular ABC Beach Resort has taken an insurance policy called natural disaster policy for like 50 million rupees, right? Again, my property 50 million වටිනවා 50 million වලටම මේගොල්ලෝ policy එකක් අරගෙන insure කරලා තිබුණා. හරිද? Right. Now let's say for a fact that so let's say the insurance company is Sri Lanka Insurance, right? Sri Lanka Insurance. Sri Lanka Insurance. So finally the Sri Lanka Insurance had to pay this compensation, right? 50 million pay කරා. Correct? Now මේ විදිහට මේ claim එක pay කරා 50 million, right? Correct. හැබැයි ඊට පස්සේ ඔයා දන්නා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ foreign donations ආව නේද? ඒගොල්ලෝ මේ foreign embassies වලින් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, වෙන charity organizations වලින්, foreign countries වලින් මේ so they like a lot of compensation they pay. Now let's imagine that under one of those schemes, let's say that the World Bank providing some compensation, providing some sort of financial support to those heavily damaged hotel properties. Maybe there are damage in the hotel properties. The World Bank got payment tax. For in this case, that particular ABC Beach Resort also got selected under that scheme. So apart from the insurance claim, right, then අපි හිතමු බැංක් කාර්ය වෙන ඕගනයිසේෂන් එකක් ඩොනේෂන් එකක් කරලා ඒගොල්ලෝ අහන්නේ නැහැ ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් පොලිසි එකක් තිබුණාද නැද්ද මේක claim එක ගත්තද no, so they'll be doing the donation, right? So but the concept of subrogation says the fact that so once you cover this particular loss from one of your insurance policy, all the future benefits that could arise from that particular incident will be belong to the insurance company, right? ඒගොල්ලෝ කියනවා මොනාරි මේ incident එක නිසා ඔයාලට දැන් claim එක ගෙවලා ඉවර වුණාට පස්සේ all the future benefits could be arised. එහෙනම් මේ විදිහට ඉස්සරහට එන්න පුළුවන්, right? මේ විදිහට ඉස්සරහට එන්න පුළුවන් benefit එකක්. ඒක අපි දන්නේ හරියටම exactly yes or no. But if in case, if you future receive any kind of a benefit, that would belong to the insurance company. එහෙනම් මේ විදිහට මෙයාට මේ incident එක නිසා තවත් වෙන external party එකකින් අපි තුමු 10 million ලැබෙනවා නම් දැන් ඒක ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? So this would belong to the insurance company, right? The same as that. මම ඔයාලට තවත් simple example එකක් දෙන්නද? හරි, let's say that මෙතනටම මම add කරන්නම් vehicle එකක් තියෙනවා, right? There's a vehicle insurance, right? ඔයාගේ මේ vehicle එක අපි තුමු හොරකම් කරනවා, right? මේක theft insurance එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා. මේ විදිහට ඔයාගේ vehicle එක තියෙනවා, right? vehicle එක. right? මේ vehicle එක නැති වුණා කියලා ඔයා ගිහිල්ලා police complaint එකක් දාන්න. Let's say that this is 5 million, right? 5 million worth of vehicle. මාසයක් දෙකක් යනවා පොලිසියත් කියනවා මේක හොයාගන්න කොහෙවත් නැහැ. So the finally the insurance company will decide to pay you the claim, right? Or full insurance එකක් අරන් දෙන්න 5 million ම ගෙවන්න. හැබැයි ඊට පස්සේ තව ටිකක් අපිට මාස 6ක් විතර ගිහිල්ලා නේද? මාස 6ක් විතර ගිහිල්ලා පොලිසියෙන් ඔයාලට කෝල් එකක් එනවා. පොලිසියෙන් කියනවා මෙන්න මේ vehicle එක අපි හොයාගත්තා කියලා. Could be, right? So after a lot of investigations, right? මේ vehicle එක ගැන යම්කිසි තොරතුරක් දැන් ලැබිලා තියෙනවා. So then definitely, right, the insurance company will also get to know that, right? අනිවාර්යෙන් because the police will also inform them because නැත්නම් අනිවාර්යෙන් insurance company එක කියන හරිය මේ පිළිබඳව මොනාරි ලැබුණොත් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ඒගොල්ලන් inform කරන්න කියලා. So the police will inform them as well. So then that particular all vehicle, right, would belong to the insurance company since you got the full cover. නැත්නම් මොනවද වෙන්නේ? ඔයාම ඔයාගේ vehicle එකක් කවහරි ධම්මලා නේද? එක්ක කොහරි උස්සලා හරි මොනාරි එහෙම දෙයක් කළා ඔයා කියලා complaint එකක් දාන්න. මෙන්න මගේ එක නැති වුණා. So something like this. Right? හරි. තවත් example එකක් කිව්වොත් හරි අපි හිතමු දැන් මේක there's no theft that would damage. So this vehicle අපි කිව්වොත් අර full condemn වෙනවා කියලා, right? Fully damaged. But still there's a value for that, right? Scrap value කියලා අපි කිව්වොත් නේද? මොනාරි මේක යකඩ වලට හරි විකුණලා at least 5 lakhs එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි හිතමු at least 100,000 හරි ඔයාලට obtain කරන්න පුළුවන්. So in that case, that particular the scrap value is something will not belong to you, right? ඒක එන අනිවාර්යෙන් ඉතුරුට යකඩ ටික හරි insurance company එක අරගෙන යනවා. එන subrogation is what? So when that particular incident happened, right? Because of that thing, so in the future there are any possibilities that you might receive any benefit from any third party, any external party. So those benefits would belong to the insurance company. So like that, I explained you three examples. So one thing is tsunami, the disaster. එනක් tsunami එකෙන් insurance company එක pay කරනවා. හැබැයි ඔයාලට වෙනම කොයින් හරි donations ලැබෙනවා නම් ඔයාලට වෙන මොන හරි benefits ලැබෙනවා නම් so that thing belong to the insurance company. Because why? To cover up those the profit, right? Profits are laban. And the example number 2 about this vehicle thing, right? So your vehicle ආගේ නැති වෙලා ඊට පස්සේ මේ විදිහට ආපහු මේක නැවත ඔයාලට ලැබෙනවා. So in that case also that particular vehicle belong to the insurance company. And also let's say when the accident, right, the fully condemned your vehicle, but still those the scrap value would belong to the insurance company, right? So they'll be selling those things and will take some of the income for them as well, right? To minimize any chances that will be earning any external benefit from any other party. So that will be avoided through this principle called subrogation, right? So we can write a definition as well. So we can come back to this particular thing. The concept of subrogation, right? The concept of subrogation. Right, so shall we write like this? When the insurance company has settled, the loss for the damage goes to the insured property. The transfer of other advantages and rights, transfer of the other advantages and rights from external parties that insured can obtain to the insurer is known as a subrogation, right? Now, in the future, so that thing would belong to the insurance company, right? Because the core objective is not to earn profit. You know, a vehicle like fully damaged vela or the vehicle like a pay at the compensation like a pay karai. But still, from that particular thing, you can, you know, or can avoid from this particular principle. So that's what the subrogation thing happened, right? Subrogation. So just take this. I'll provide you the example, right? There's a space has been provided. Write the example as well. I'll be sharing the example as well. So just take this explanation about the concept of subrogation. So one of the sub principle comes under the main principle of indemnity. So the advantages and rights from the external party would belong to that. Okay, now there's a good question. Right. So I guess you're asking about that theft thing. Vehicle like a නැති වෙනවා හැබැයි කිසිම damage එකක් නැහැ, right? So then you asking what could happen. Yes, there are two options. ඔයාට ඕන පුළුවන් වගේ all vehicle එක ගන්න, right? එහෙම නැත්නම් අලුත් ආගේ vehicle එකේ compensation එකේ ඒක ආපහු pay කරන්න වෙන insurance company එකට. නැත්නම් ගොඩක් ලාට ඒගොල්ලෝ අලුත් vehicle එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර ඒක දීලා ඔයාට කලින් vehicle එක ගන්න පුළුවන්. It's up to you, right, to decide. අපි તો මාස 6කින් පස්සේ ඔයාගේ පරණ vehicle එක හම්බ වෙනවා. So then they'll ask, oh, මේක තියාගන්නවද නැත්නම් ඔයාට අලුතෙන් දීපු එකම you keep continuing with that new vehicle. So that's up to the insured to decide, right? එහෙනම් අර මං කිව්වාගේ මාස 6කින් පරණ vehicle එක හම්බුණාට පස්සේ if you would like to take it back, no issue with that, right? No issue with that. Or maybe let's say something that vehicle is something special to you, so obviously you'll take it, right? And there's no damage occurred. Right. So I hope you're done with the definition or explanation when it comes to subrogation. And here's the example. If a motor vehicle insured for 50 lakhs, destroyed totally, vehicle condemn right? Fully destroyed in an accident. So then the insurance company pays all 50 lakhs as a compensation and takes over the debris of the vehicle. So debris means that so whatever the scrap value, right? Scrap value. සිංහලෙන්ම සරලව ගියොත් ඉතුරු වෙන යකඩ කැලි ටික ඒකල ගන්න, right? Scrap value. මොනාරි value එකක් තියෙනවානේ. කීයකට හරි මේක දෙන්න පුළුවන් නේ. Right? So that's the debris value. Debris value is the debris of the vehicle or the whatever the scrap value. Right. But remember there are a couple of other examples that I discussed, the tsunami example and that the vehicle thefting, right? Vehicle එක ගිහිල්ලා නැවත හම්බුනාට පස්සේ again, right? So you have to make a choice to accept your old vehicle or to keep that the new vehicle provided the old vehicle would belong to the insurance company. Right, so I'll give like another 1 minute. So then we'll discuss our final insurance principle, which is the proximate cost. Proximate cost, right? Proximate cost. Right, so I'll give like 1 minute to this. So then I'll come back to the screen whiteboard, and we'll discuss the proximate cost, the final insurance principle. Right, so we'll discuss the proximate cost, right? Right now, guys, you know the fact that for a property, the monad property asset taker, reasons ගොඩක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒ loss එක ඇති වෙන්න, right? There are a lot of reasons. හරි අපි example එකකින්ම මේක discuss කරමු. So just take an example. හරි. Now let's say that there's a property, right? Maybe there a building එකක් තියෙනවා. There's a property, right? Property is there. For that, or දන්නවනේ properties වලට life insurance ගන්න බෑ නේද? Properties වල තියෙන general insurance එක. Let's say that you have obtained fire insurance or fire insurance එකක් අරගෙන තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් මොනවාද fire insurance එකකින් වෙන්නේ? ඔයාගේ business එක fire එකක් ඇති වුණොත් cover කරනවා මේකේ. හරි. But unfortunately, right? There are a couple of damages to this building due to a flood, right? ඔයා අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ fire insurance එකක්. හැබැයි flood එකක් වෙලා මේක මේ building එකට damage වෙනවා. හැබැයි ඔයාට මතක් වෙනවා මට insurance තියෙනවා නේද? ගොඩක් වෙලාවට the concept of insurance people do not understand correctly. They do not read the insurance agreement, insurance policy. හැබැයි ඊට පස්සේ මොන හරි damage එකක් වෙච්ච ගම කියනවා no I have the insurance. මම insurance කියලා තියෙන බය වෙන දෙයක් නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයා යනවා මේක claim කරගන්න. ඊට පස්සේ කියනවා ඊට පස්සේ insurance companies වලට බයිනවා. ඊට පස්සේ කියනවා insurance නම් වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒ වගේ mindset එකක් තියෙනවා. But if you clearly understand those set of things, right? So in this particular fire insurance, it will cover only a damage arise due to a fire, right? Fire. දැන් සමහරට fire කියන එකත් ඒගොල්ලෝ describe කරලා තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන මොන හරි මේ a fire due to a electric leak, a fire due to a, a couple of reasons. හැබැයි අපිටම සමහරලාට මොන හරි අපි කිව්වොත් අපි කිව්වොත් අර කැරලි කෝලහල කියලා අපි කියන්නේ මොන හරි පාරේදී සිද්ධ වෙන දෙයක් නිසා මොන හරි දෙයක් වුණ සමහර ඒක cover වෙන්නේ නැති වෙයි, right? But that different story. හරි දැන් අපි will stick to this example. So there's a building, you have obtained a fire insurance, but unfortunately due to a flood, right, you are having some damages worth of 100,000. But you just realize the fact that okay I have insurance policy, but you forgot what you have taken the insurance policy මොන risk එකද cover කරලා තියෙන එක ඔයාලට අමතක වෙලා තියෙනවා. So you go to the insurance company, let's say Selinco or Selinco එකට ගිහලා තියෙනවා. Let's say there's a damage occurred 100,000, please claim, right? Please pay me that amount. So the insurance agent or the company says that yeah sorry sir madam, so you can see you have obtained this insurance policy to cover a risk arise from the fire, right? Not a flood insurance. So what do you mean by proximate cause? Proximate cause is that when there's a damage or a loss occurred, so that loss need to be covered from your insured policy, right? Close reason එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. So that's what we need to think about, right? So imagine the fact that, so that is why, or maybe you had some options or tipa may fire insurance to add some covers. I get a flood කියන එක add කරගන්න, right? So likewise maybe you can take the couple of covers to that. නැතව risk ගොඩක් ඔයාලට add කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So maybe that the premium would increase, right? Or premium එක increase වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙනම් simply the proximate cause is that the company will be paying the compensation. Called the company like an insurer, right? Will only be paying the compensation from that particular incident, right? The basic risk, the reason is covered from the insurance policy. In a fire insurance එකක් අරගෙන තියෙන වෙලාවක ඔයාට flood වලින් damage එක උනේ flood කියන එක cover වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් අර insurance එකේ, so then you are not in a position to take any compensation for that. Because why? The proximate cause matters, right? Proximate cause matters. So that's the simple way I can explain you this concept, right? So what we can do is coming back to the tute, you can see the fact of the proximate cause, right? Shall we take is not on that, the proximate cause, along with another example. right? You can see the fact. So when several reasons cause the damage of an insured property or a life, the payment of the compensation is made only if the proximate reason is covered by the policy, right? එහෙනම් මම අර කිව්ව risk එක වා cover කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඔය risk එකට තමයි insurance policy එක අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඔයාගේ insurance policy එකේ that particular reason is not covered, then you are in a trouble, right? ඔයාගේ insurance policy එකෙන් අර risk එක cover වෙන්නේ නැත්තම්, so there's no chance that you can take the compensation for the damage or the loss incurred, right? So as you can see the example, the person on a theft insurance policy cannot obtain compensation if his home is damaged by due to a fire, right? The reason is the risk of catching fire has not been covered. Now අරගෙන තියෙන theft insurance එක. ඒ කියන්නේ නේද මොනාරි ගෙදරට ඇවිල්ලා සොරකමක් වුණොත් වෙන damage cover කරන්න තමයි. හැබැයි උනේ අන්තිමට fire එකක්. එහෙනම් fire එක cover වෙලා තිබුණේ නැත්තම් sorry තමයි නේද? So then you're not in a position to get the damage, right? So that is why carefully going through the insurance policy document is important. I mean නැත්තම් වෙන්නේ just right ඔයා ගිහලා එතන නේද insurance policy company එකට එතන ගිහලා කතා කරන්න බලනවා, but ඔයා බලන්නේ කොහොමද මේ damage එක cover කරගන්න. ඔයා හැමතිස්සෙම හිතන නෑ මට insurance තියෙනවා, මං insurance කරලා තියෙන බයත්. But we need to always make sure that with that particular risk, right, being covered from that particular thing. So that's more important. So that is why you have always think about the possible risk could arise. නිසා හැම risk එකක්ම cover වෙන policy එකක් ගන්න අවශ්‍යයි. එහෙම නැතු අන්තිමට ගිහිල්ලා it is just I would say wasting of time, right? So correctly identify the risk and to get the insurance policy to cover all possible risk. අපි දන්නේ අපිට හරියටම කියන්න බෑ අනිවාර්යෙන්ම බිල්ඩින් එකට ඩැමේජ් එකක් වෙන්නේ ෆයර් එකකින්ම විතරයි. නිසා I'll take only fire insurance. අන්තිමට එන්නේ flood එක. So something like that. So you need to make sure that you identify the possible risk might arise in the future and to be prepared in advance getting the insurance policy. So here's the example, take it separately. Right, guys, I'll give you like another 1 minute, and then I'll tell you important relationship in terms of those policies. Right? There's a kind of important fact that you should know when you come to these set of principles. Right? And I'll discuss that next. Right, guys, I hope you are done with writing this one. If I'm still writing, please let me know. So I'm gonna come back to the screen whiteboard again. Right, now there's a question. Right now there's a question. One other question, there's a question that whether you can apply those all principles to the all types of insurance. මේ තියෙන principles of insurance හැම insurance එකටම apply කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. What is that? Now mainly we divide insurance over the life insurance and general insurance. So life and the general insurance that we can take, right? But imagine something like this. The concept of the indemnity, the principle of indemnity. The indemnity again or a loss මොනවාද වගේ වෙච්ච loss එක විතරයි cover කරන්න කියලා. දැන් අපි හිතමු life insurance එකේදී කෙනෙක්ගේ life එකට නෙමෙයි අපි හිතමු මොනාරි accident එකකින් නේද accident එකකින් යාගේ මොනාරි අපි හිතමු අතකට කකුලකට මොනා damage එකක් වෙනවා. So in that case, can the insurance company come up with the estimation or come up with the value for that particular individuals for that thing, right? No. So there's something like this. So for the indemnity principle, right, contribution along with the subrogation will not apply to the life insurance policies, which means that if you wish to have more insurance policies for your life, no issue with that, the contribution and the subrogation will not apply. The rest of the things will remain same, insurable interest and the rest of the things, right? For general insurance, all the principle would be applied, right? General insurance ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ, ඔක්කොම principle ටික apply වෙනවා, but make sure that the indemnity principle will not applicable for the life insurance. So that's what the next thing explains. So I'm sharing the tune, guys. As you can see, මම මේ වගේ පොඩි chart එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා. ඔයාලට බලන්න පුළුවන්. Right? එහෙනම් insurable interest, utmost good faith, proximate good. එහෙනම් මේ තුනම apply වෙනවා life insurance. ඒ නිසා මම life insurance කියලා මෙහෙම දාලා මම එතනට හරියක් දානවා. Life insurance, right? Life insurance. මම මේකට tick එකක් දානවා. But indemnity, under that there are two sub policies, subrogation, contribution, and does not apply, right? Does not apply to life insurance. Does not apply in life insurance. General insurance, that does not matter, right? General insurance එකට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මේ හැම principle එකක්ම apply වෙනවා, right? එහෙනම් මම මෙතනින් ලියනවා general insurance, right? General insurance මේ ඕනේ policy එකක් applicable. Right, guys. So shall we just take this? Okay, so just have again the summary of these policies. So the insurable interest, utmost good faith, proximate cost, applicable to life insurance, but the concept of the indemnity will not apply. Because the art estimation එකක් දෙන්න බෑ life එකට, right? Life එකට estimation එකක් දෙන්න බැරි නිසා. And also the subrogation contribution will not apply. ගේ life insurance එකට ඔයාලට ඕන තරම් policies ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම මොන හරි damage එකක් වුණොත් ඔයාලට මොන හරි loss එකක් වුණොත් obviously you can take it, right? So there's no limitation in terms of obtaining the insurance policies and also in terms of claiming those damages when you come to the life insurance. That is why some people use life insurance as a source of saving, right? That we discuss under the contractual savings institutes. But life insurance then as a saving, as an investment, right? Because there are a lot of benefits as well, something like the tax exceptions, right? So those things are there. But remember the fact that indemnity, there's no chance that the insurance company could apply this to life insurance. But rest of the everything would be applicable to the general insurance. So once you're done with that, I'll be giving a note on this as well. So then you can take it as well. People note take Dagamu to explain this concept. Right, guys, I hope you're done with this. And shall we write this small note top of that? Right. Insurance interest නෙමේ එතන හදාගන්න insurable interest කියන එක. Insurance interest කිව්වත් ඒක ලොකු issue එකක් නැහැ. Insurable interest කියන එක, insurable interest. Utmost good faith, proximate cause reasons are the only principle that are relevant to life insurance. අයන එකකින් කියනවා indemnity and the rest of the principle and the principle relevant to it, such as the contribution, subrogation, are not relevant to the life insurance. That's a 1 point, right? Make a points දෙකක් විතර දාගමු. This is point 1. ඊට පස්සේ next point එක මෙතන ඉඳලා. The reason for that is the loss is immeasurable. When a loss or an accident happens to lives, that it cannot be recovered. So in life insurance, a certain value mentioned in the policy. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ කලින්ම ඒකට value එකක් දෙනවා. Example like විදිහට partially disabled වුණොත් මෙන්න මෙච්චර amount එකක්. එනවා පාසේ disable වුණාට පස්සේ decide කරන්න බෑ කොච්චරක් වෙනවද කියලා. අපි දුම් කෙනෙක්ගේ unfortunately right කකුලකට damage එකක් වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒක කලින් කියනවා. right value එක කලින් mention හරි මෙහෙම damage එකක් වුණොත් මෙන්න මේ ප්‍රමාණය තමයි ගෙවන්නේ. so likewise. මොකද damage එක වුණාට පස්සේ ඒගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් ද ඇවිල්ලා බලන්න ඔයාගේ කකුල නම් මෙච්චරක් වටි එන්න කියන්න බෑ. right so that is immeasurable. right remember the fact that immeasurable. එනිසා ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙයි එහෙනම් කොහොමද පොලිසි එක ගෙවන්නේ කියලා. right ගෙවන්නේ pre determined value එකක් තියෙනවා. right that's what they are saying. In life insurance a certain value mentioned in the policy. right එහෙනම් policy එකේ මේක mention වෙනවා. එනිසා based on that they will be paying the compensation. right so try to get this as 2 points so then it's more clear to you as well. So remember the fact that indemnity and the principles belong to that will not applicable when you come to the life insurance. The reason is that that particular loss is immeasurable. Right, guys, I'll give like another 1 minute. I hope the things that we discussed today is clear, right? Even though I could not use the whiteboard as usual, right? But I hope you got the things that I tried to explain about this concept, right? So unfortunately, I plan on the reinsurance and the underwriting plan but we'll take up to Wednesday the concept of reinsurance and the underwriting, and also the types of insurances, life, and there are types of general insurance out there, so we can discuss one by one. Yeah, so if you're done with writing, you can leave, guys. So thank you for joining, and so really sorry for the inconvenience happened, but I hope you will not missed anything, right? So if you have any question, you can raise and I'll be online for a while. Yeah, so that's all. See you on Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks.